Good evening. Need some welcome hello more. Yeah, sure. Make it happen. I mean, you are the designer here. You are sidetracking me. Welcome, everybody. Today we are going to play some Stanley Parable. It's Monday, which means Monday with Stanley. This time is for the week 3. This time with some brand new content. So, this is Stanley Parable. And we are entering our time again. Yay. So it's roughly 8:11 in here. So we're gonna enter just that. Yes. So 8:11 is your favorite time of the day. Could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 8:11 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 8:11? Accurate or inaccurate? I would say accurate-ish. He said to input favorite time. Shut up. Don't tell me what to do. My favorite time is the current time, okay? You don't get to say in this. This is my decision. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to get new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. You are playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I'm not recurring again, by the way. The game is bugged. We are going in. Okay, why are you loading so long, bro?
This is the story of a man named
Yeah. You already know. We already know that this is the story of the name. Main name Stanley. Or something. So,
All of his co-workers were gone.
yes.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so we've done pretty much all the choices we could have done in the previous 2 weeks. So it is finally time to give you brand new content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
It's pissing me off that you cannot go this way, by the way. It's just like, it could be in here. What's over there? I don't know. The game doesn't allow me to go there because these stupid doors are here. Maybe if I would save some jumps from jumping circle that we're gonna get later. I'm not supposed to know what jumping circle is yet, but hey, let's go. How big is this complex, by the way? These facilities so convoluted everywhere. This is kind of freaky, honestly.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh,
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting
more.
audiences the world over.
More is always better. That's what she said.
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
If it is working elevator, maybe.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere?
Right? I think so.
There we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
For a new content, it does look very old, yeah.
I have to
There are
say, initial
cables, it
impressions
doesn't
of
seem-
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
He is more excited than I am. Really.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
You can only jump in the jump circle, nowhere else in the freaking game.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
I mean, jumping, I think the jumping was probably the most requested feature ever. There is even an achievement if you like bash
Another
the space
elevator.
bar too many
Stanley,
times,
I have to say,
the game will give you achievement you cannot jump. Even if you're still trying. Especially because the jumping was such a huge deal in Half-Life. You need to understand one thing. The Stanley Parable was made as a Half-Life mod originally, and then even the original game in 2013 was made on the Half-Life engine. I think it's like a Havoc engine or whatever they call it. Source engine, sorry, not Havoc. Havoc is like the ragdoll physics, but like the Source engine is the original Half-Life 1. It was made in that, I think, more specifically for Half-Life 2. Doesn't really matter. The Half-Life was a game that really utilized jumping in first-person shooters. And Half-Life was all about moving fast, jumping, and there was even like this little trick that the game even taught you in tutorial. It was like a jump crouch. Basically, if there was a platform that you cannot jump in, you do jump crouch, which means that you basically made your model smaller, but because jumping was tied rather to a torso than the legs of the character, then if you crouch jump, then you actually pulled your legs up and was able, the character was able to get onto higher areas. Therefore, it was like one of the first 3D jumping puzzling game as much as it was a shooter game, right? And you have this where there's no jumping. And people who went into this from Half-Life, especially into the original concept that was like the map pack for Half-Life, they would try to jump all the time. The jumping was disabled. It's a daring move.
initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
He is very talkative. Kind of cozy room, isn't it? Thank you for enjoying the new
That's it?
content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fanbase rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Do that, please.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid.
I don't have a Twitter account, so I don't know.
Lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
3 years old game, by the way.
No gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say,
3 years old game based on like 12 years old game, and it's still so good. Dude, what did you do? You turn our office into the picture for this creepy whatever this is. Yeah, that's spooky, yeah.
Psst. Stanley! Come over here, in the vent. I want to show you something.
Dude, that sounds like you want to sell me some cheap drugs.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
I'm a dork. What's with these yellow boxes everywhere? I swear to God, they're always something a little bit different, slightly different. Just enough. It's like one of those anomaly games. But you wouldn't be able to win this, because there is always something different, and you can't even tell what. Like, why is this like freaking umbrellas everywhere now? This is closed. And now you can just continue with the game. But we've already seen everything the game has to offer. So instead, we actually gonna go back to his spook event. Because... Well, hold up. Wow. Okay, we're locked out. Really? Really? We're locked out? That's interesting. See, you cannot be like sure that every time you cross the new door...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered that this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
You know what's funny?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5
environment.
years ago.
It really is changing. It changes all the time. Like, all the time. Okay.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun.
Right. Luckily, Mr. Vent Vendor is still waiting for us over
come
there.
Over here.
But I want to see his line.
You don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
I wonder when this changes into something else. Like, this game can give you existential crisis if you try to...
Never mind. You're not a dork.
No more commentary? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna play your game. I'm not a dork. He apologized. Well, he did not apologize, but at least he said that I'm not a dork, so... Let's just go. Alright. Loading time. I don't have I have the game on the hard drive. I don't have it on SSD. Still running pretty smoothly,
okay,
but
you remember
there is like a tearing sometimes. Maybe I should have reinstalled it. Maybe I will reinstall it. or move it to an SSD
Remember
for
how
the next
cheap and
thing.
unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Gothic doors. Like, where did you get this? You did not model this. You bought this from the asset store. Cheapsteak. Looks like Bethesda game. Yeah, exactly. But this is like the Gothic doorway or the Gothic window, right? I can say because they modeled these specific doorways and windows to resemble the praying hands. That's why it is not just like a semicircle. That's why it has like this point, because it should symbolizes like the hands that are praying. Somebody somewhere like 800 years ago thought it was a good idea. I don't know.
I call it the memory zone.
Aww.
It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
He's just so overly dramatic. Like, everything is over the top.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how
Zone's
wonderful
zone.
Stanley
It looks
Parable
amazing.
was
Yeah, it
before
does.
it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of
Cheap re-release.
2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity.
Look at this. This box right here. It looks like something from like the 90s, or I don't know. It's like making it look like the original Stanley Parable is like that some like super old, like the game that has been so cool and such a cult, and then this like the deluxe edition is such like a modern Gorbo greedy garbage. It's so absurd. I love it. I love it. Okay,
Back
let's
then,
go to it.
it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Shapes, cargo, operational manual. Like, what are these things? Like, it's just putting in some random assets from the game and make it like into a relics or artifacts, and then just making like this, like the Stanley Parable on Steam in this vintage photo. I'm pretty sure. Why is this in like Russian or Ukraine? I don't. When the Stanley Parable was released? Oh, 2013. Yeah, the clock is. I should have put clock in 2013. Just the Stanley Parable by Narrator. Yeah. Our first kiss, my first car, the release of Stanley Parable in 2013. Facebook level picture. Oh my god. The memory zone. Of course, of course. What's this? Buy on Steam. Mozilla Firefox start page. What everyone's saying. Linguists identify 15,000-year-old ultra-concept words, the Washington Post. Essentially with 2,000 words whose sound and meaning have survived the past 5,000 years. 6 components of great corporate culture. John Coleman, Harvard Business Review. Why is this here? Just like, why did he put these 2 random articles in there? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the originally Davey, the author of the game, looked at these 2 like articles randomly popping up on his Firefox, and that would be actual the inspiration for Stanley Parable, because he somehow joined those 2 articles together and merged it into something like in his brain, and then he spit out the concept for Stanley Parable. You know, because like the corporate culture, it is all over the place, and those like words and stuff, it's that kind of like mysticism that is putting over Stanley Parable. But maybe like this, like artifacts and stuff, I think the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is what works even more with these like artifacts, because the original Stanley Parable was just the choice, the narrator, and discover what is there. There is so much more in this new game. Like it has been such a bold move what they did if they took the original game and instead of like making a sequel in matter of now we're gonna make a sequel, like what's gonna happen after, is that they like you literally, if you buy Ultra Deluxe Edition, you don't need to own the original game because the whole original game is in it, and then the second game is being on top of it, all of this convoluted together. So it's more something like expansion in, I don't know, World of Warcraft than the typical, like the next installment of the game. It sounds like it doesn't make sense, but it makes perfect sense in this environment. 2014 Independent Games Festival. I think so that there is like a toggle in the beginning of the game that asks you if you have played Stanley Parable before, yes or no. I hope that it works in a way that if you check no, then you cannot access new content until you explore at least the most well-known and most convoluted endings of the first game. And those doors wouldn't appear. That I think it is like this, but I don't know. It should be. Because if somebody just buys this game for the first time and he goes straight for the new content, then he will be like absolutely confused. You require the knowledge of the previous game. But the previous game is included in this one, so... Stanley Parable. The British Academy of Film, Television Arts awarded to... I don't know, it's like Stanley Parable. It's over it. So stupid. Okay, now we have like the screenshots from the original game. Let's begin again. Yeah. Original. What's this? Be My Valentine. Muck. Okay. A trip down memory lane. Stanley Parable official soundtrack. We do have that, by the way. $1. This is how much you made by creating Stanley Parable. Smile, because it happened. Yeah, believe it or not, I was smiling a lot because this game happened, and then when when the second game happened, it was even better, kind of. Like the first time the demonstration, we cannot play the demonstration, sadly. I never played the demonstration, it's just interesting. This was like one the game where when he announced that they are making like deluxe edition, it was insta buy for me, and I didn't even expect that this is going to be second game. I really just expect that it's going to be, you know, the more polished version of the first game, maybe with some few additional endings, and it kind of is, except there is as much endings extra as there is in the original game, and some content on top of that, and it just melts everything together. And I think it's just the realization of this weird universe of Stanley. This is a metaphor or like parallel to so many other things. And with this, I think the author and his team, they got much closer to what they wanted. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. Here. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Is it? Nemini, British Academy Awards, Stanley Parable, Game Innovation. Okay. It's the same freaking thing. New video game releasing today. Creators surprisingly down to earth. Business leaders. New York Times. Los Angeles Times. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. So stupid. Okay. What's this? In loving memory, a little Stanley. Aww. Aww. Yeah, this is why I could never have rodent as a pet. They live for like 1 or 2 years. And then you're just left alone. Oh.
Je suis dans la mémorisation, seul sur l'abri des vélos, et je n'attends que t'amore.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like
Oh, I
this stunning
skipped
triumph
the
of games
song.
journalism.
God
10
damn.
out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
Yes, every game
It was
ever
literally
created.
every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A
Come on.
lifeless husk with an hour
You can't just
of
go
new
install the
elevator
original
content.
game. Don't worry, bro. Jenny. Maintenance. Okay. Why do you need maintenance for Memory Zone? Like, do you need like more pictures or? The tasteful nostalgic. It was good. It was good. Minecraft. Oh yeah. In the original section there wasn't Firewatch. It was Minecraft. And it kind of makes more sense because Firewatch, despite Narrator complaining, the Firewatch never was open world game. Sure, it was a little more open than Stanley, but in the end it was just branching path that you were running along, following the story. It was actually just like Stanley Parable, except without much of a choice you had. The Stanley Parable, perfect. Person of the right. Stanley is absolutely blurred off. Give some buttons. This is how the game was made, actually. So I don't think this is Unity. I think this is the Source engine. But I don't know. I'm not a game dev. I'm talking a lot about game developer from somebody who cannot even like code or write in any sort of programming language. I could probably learn that, but it's too much hassle. Okay, this is closed. I don't know if you can ever get back to this place, by the way. If you ever can get back to the Memory Zone.
Here's another moving passage, this time from
Carpet fixtures.
GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
I love it. Right. Let me through. Why are there boxes in the way? You
These
screwed
were
it up.
simpler times, Stanley. But I
You
wouldn't
screwed it
give
up
to
with
go
boxes.
back to have it all over again.
Yeah, but you screwed up. You put boxes in there, so I cannot continue throughout the Memory Zone. Therefore, we are gonna go to the maintenance and, of course, fuck everything up for you, as we usually do. Because you are a douchebag, anyway. And he called me a dork, so suck it up.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Steam reviews, garbage.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews
Steam
from
reviews.
Steam, the online video game distributor.
Anybody
I haven't
can
looked at
write
these in
whatever
years.
they want.
I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
I don't know. I think the game was mostly positive, but it goes like with anything. If you are trying to do anything, and 10 people will tell you that it's great, and then one douchebag will tell you that it's trash, you will not be thinking about 10 people that you brought joy or that you helped. You're gonna be thinking about that one douchebag who told you that it's trash, and you're gonna be wondering why, and you're gonna be angry. It doesn't matter if it is video games, if it is like IT consulting, if you are working on support, if you are creating, I don't know, if you are a chef and making dinner in restaurants, it's always the same. It's always the negativity. See?
Honestly, I could not be
This one right here is blurred out.
bothered to play this
Well,
game
this
to full
one-
completion. The
Yeah.
narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be
Oh my
funny.
God.
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
He didn't get you, bro. I know you're not trying to be funny. I know we are deadly serious here. I know what we're doing. That's a huge dumpster yard, this one. All of this is, I think you cannot get there anymore after you finish this kind of like intermezzo, which serves as a transition between the original game and another illusion of choice. It basically doubles all of the choices that you already have. So if the game has like 20 choices, after completing this, we will have like 20 more. Roughly, I don't know if it is 20. It's probably gonna be a little bit more, but I can't really remember. You know what? Let's actually calm down the choices. Okay. So close yourself in the office is the one choice. Then jumping down from the window and glitch yourself is the another ending. There are technically two, but both end the same way. You need to begin the game again. But hey, it's second ending. Then the third ending would be the buttons. If you launch the game 5 times, you know, get to the Stanley Heaven. Then what we gonna have? You're going into the boss's office. You get a true ending, which is the 4th one. You get a true bad ending, which is the 5th one. You jump off the railings. That's 6. You go to the credits zone where it crashes you, which is 7. You ride down elevator, up and down, which is 8. Now if you go left, you can take the road down, which is 9. You can go to 9 to your doom, to your like anxious panic attack, which is 10th. Now if you go to the right door, what else do we have there? You jump down, it's 11. You jump off the elevator. Which is like 12 because there are 2 branching paths that you can take, right? Red or the blue door. So like 13 endings so far. You can go to the vent, which is 14. You follow the elevator, and there's 2 more endings. So it's 16 endings in total. Maybe I've missed some. That was just a quick recap. I was just showing you my pro skills in this game. I'm pro Stanley Parable gamer. I could probably speedrun this game fastest than
let's see
anybody.
what this one says.
I could get a high score if there was a score.
For someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness.
You are a little bit preachy.
I always,
okay?
well,
You are a
to be
little
honest,
bit.
I had always
Tiny
thought of the
bit.
game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Yeah, but you also took the freaking Steam reviews and handpicked the biggest clowns and made them into content. I think that's hilarious, actually. I was saying, if this game had high score, which it doesn't, but if it had, I would probably be on the top of the leaderboards. Maybe not the first one, but definitely like in the top 10. See, I'm such a good Stanley Parable player. If Stanley Parable was competitive, I would be up there. I would be in high elo. Let's go this way. Whoop.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything
Okay, I get that it's supposed to be parable or something, blah, 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 blah.
so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
It's like... How do you write something like this? Look at this and said, yeah, it's good. I'm gonna post it online so everybody online can read it and know I was the one who wrote it. Might as well just write stupid on the piece of paper and stick it on their forehead. Just saying. But then again, he called himself Cookie09 or something stupid like that. So, yeah. And now he is going to be forever known as that idiot who not only wrote a review so dumb that it made everybody laugh, but he got also made into a joke in the next game. Good job, Cookie09. I hope you leave another review for the third game.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today.
What did you do? What the hell is that?
I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Let's go for the skip button now.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this.
You always have monologues.
The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time, everything all at once,
this is the smartest thing you've ever said so far.
We've eaten too much, and it can't be just yet. No, until...
This is the part, this is like the first time when we are encountering something that is really outside of the traditional Stanley Parable. And I know it sounds like stupid, like I'm talking about some convoluted Stanley Parable lore, while the game is literally just bent together. Not jokes, not gags, but like a lot of like parallels and absurd situation bent together by duct tape. But so far, we've been always just following the story in that office complex and getting somewhere with the narrator. This is the first time we are getting outside of the box of the first game. So much so that while the first game was about like choices and the illusion of choice in game design and kind of mirror to the toxic corporate culture, this one suddenly becomes more heavy, more existential. And in this one, we also realize that Stanley is not quite a human being. I think I've been talking about this in the previous installments as well. But Stanley is kind of, I don't know, not like a deity, but some sort of immortal entity. Because he can die if he jumps off the elevator, we know that. But do we? Because then the loop will start again. But outside of the loop, we know that he can literally be somewhere standing for years, hundreds of years, centuries, thousands of years to no end. And he will be perfectly fine. He can literally just wait out the collapse of society. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he was just stuck in his office pressing buttons. And the world around him crumbled. He didn't notice because he was still in his office. Everybody disappeared, not because the mind control facility, but because everything just stopped existing because of the time. And in the second game, there is this huge theme, there's this huge narrative theme that is spiraling around escape of all this, how to get out. how to survive all this quote-unquote nightmare. But I think it's a mirror to trying to tell the player that there is always something new. That even if you're going to be stuck in the same old loop that you enjoyed maybe when you were younger, there's always time to move on. And that moving on is not something scary. Even though it can look like that at certain times. And it is always difficult to leave your comfort bubble and go chase another dreams. And I find this incredibly soothing because I know that we saw this with Undertale as well. Whenever the author of successful indie game actually achieves a huge success, they often get depressed for various reasons. One of those reasons may be that they have created something great, but they are scared that they will never overcome their own shadow ever again. They don't know what to do next. They do not handle the negative feedback too well. I think he incorporated everything of this into the deluxe edition. Kind of vented it out, and I've played it, and I will probably going to play it again at some level, either live on stream or we will just make a video out of it. But I know that the author of Stanley Parable, he actually went to create new game with some other team. And I'm sorry, I just got distracted. So he created new game with other team, with different people. I think it's like Devolver that were working with him. I'm not entirely sure, but the game is like a cozy game about a tea shop. And he created that. The game is not too well known. I think it has like positive reviews, kind of. And it's not like best game ever. Unlike Stanley, it actually has kind of gameplay core. Not just, running around choices, heavily depending on the narrator, but it doesn't matter. It means that he moved on. He did found out his escape route out of this circle, and he made that step outside of his comfort bubble. And this is very important, because if he didn't do it, not only we wouldn't have Wanderlust. I think the game is called Wanderlust, or Wanderstop, something like that. So but we wouldn't have that game, but we also didn't have the promise that maybe he will make another one sometimes. I might have still be stuck in place in the depression. I think this whole game is just showing that there is a way outside of being depressed, outside of being like broken, outside of being trapped in your comfort bubble. Which is comforting at first, but if you stay there for too long, it's just gonna ruin you even more. The narrator is like that. He doesn't want to move. I think there is a parallel between narrator and the creator of the game. They're following the same path.
245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture.
What did this game evoke in me, the feelings that I remember? It's a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of sadness, but also excitement about new beginnings. These three emotions clumped together, that was the ending of Stanley Parable. And we will maybe get there. Maybe not today, but if not today, then the next Monday. I know next Monday is going to be Spooktober, and I plan to play like millions of spooky games. But Monday will be always for Stanley, until we exhausted all the choices, and I will summarize my thoughts with this annoying grumbling. So, I apologize to everybody. Without further ado, let's proceed with the skip button, shall we?
It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is.
We will be
so
looping
on
this
so
forever,
forth,
by the
until
way, so let's just go.
Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice
My
and
brain
saying
hurts,
nothing...
bro. This is on purpose. He's supposed to
well
be
there,
the...
sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place.
They can.
I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works.
No, they can change the reviews from negative to positive, from positive to negative.
About this whole exercise of making the skip
you can change whatever you wrote.
Although I have to imagine that after seeing
nobody
this
can alter
exciting
it.
new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review.
It's already
merely
there.
because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely.
It's
Or
already been
perhaps
there, bro.
they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review. So
No
that
need,
the
it's
feature
already
is not
there.
widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review.
They
so that
cannot.
it
They are hands off. The policy of Steam reviews is hands off. They cannot edit reviews. Only thing they can do is delete the review if the review is breaching Steam terms of service. So if this is going to be something racist in there, or something like insulting anybody without any reason, being rude, that sort of stuff, you know, or just something illegal, whatever. But they cannot alter reviews. And Steam is adamant about that. Just saying, I know it's not... I know it's just a gimmick right now. He's trying to make me push the button. But, you know, I like to go against the flow. Like, I know what this game trying to do. The game wants me to push the button. And I'm like, you know, I wanna hear all the dialogue that you wrote. But again, I'm being a hypocrite because the previous dialogue I skipped, even though I didn't listen to the end of it.
It's something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Yeah, all right. Phoenix of quality.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go?
I don't know.
Wasn't there a door? Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12
hours?
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times.
Give me a hammer, then.
And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here.
Let's find out, shall we?
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
The lights
Stanley,
are off.
I think it's been a week.
Week?
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you think that that's just how it's...
You know, this is horrifying because you can now literally, you can see how the world is slowly decaying around you. The flower is dry, lights are not working, And I think at a certain point there are going to be like voices. It suddenly is a freaking horror game, like straight up, which is kind of tough. Anyway, let's get to it, shall we?
Always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all
Remember
up.
that.
I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground.
Do it right now. I'll press the button
I
again.
Need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us. And I am suspended in its unyielding quietness.
Yes,
I
but
can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying.
Can you imagine? They've written the whole freaking dialogue. For every skip, there is like loads and loads of dialogue. And the narrator read every single piece. Just for most players, skipping the button about like first or two sentences in.
So that I am becoming less and
I am
less
fascinated by this.
Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment.
Okay.
Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
You're done? I wonder if it starts over or if it's just the end. I think he's done. Let's make one more lap just to make sure, like, I can see nothing and you don't even have a flashlight. I mean, the exploring of these dark corners is beside the point. The point of the game at this point, oh my god, I'm so great with words, am I not? At this point, the point of the game is this singular button that I need to press. If the previous one was 12 hours and this one is going to be, I think we are nearing like months or maybe even years. So let's do it.
Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it.
He's great to listen to, isn't he?
Wallow in it for what felt like
Yeah,
an eternity.
what do you guys think? Are we going to skip him?
Far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence.
Now, nothing. Do you hear this? Oh. Oh no, it's just it's just like squeaking of the old rusty pipes, or maybe it's some ventilations are failing. There will be far more disturbing sounds, I believe, that we're gonna hear. The narrator is nowhere to be found, but I don't think we are rid of him yet. Just yet. Oh my god, why? This is incredibly creepy. If it wasn't for the sound, it would be completely silence. Like, completely silence. Now that would be a problem. Anyway, let's move forward. The skip button still works.
But they didn't understand the game was never
my
meant to
God,
be
he
funny.
is
It was
back.
meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
Yeah, right.
But where
You
are
showed
the
them. You
jokes?
showed
Where
them.
are the jokes? They bemoaned. They screamed. They
Yeah,
gnashed their teeth.
you
and
hear
said,
Cookie Nine? This is for
"Entertain
you.
us." It
This
wasn't
is
enough.
for you.
They had to leave a pathetic little
You such a
thumbs down review
bag of
and make
shiitake
all
mushrooms.
of their pitiful demands.
Cookie
But
Nine.
then, he's talking too much, they said.
More
First,
like
he
unbaked
didn't
Cookie
entertain
Nine,
us.
more
Now
like
he went,
cooked
"Shut
Nine."
up. It's the
Yeah, you
inconsistency.
tell
It's
him.
the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart
Yeah, don't
the
get me
words that they are
started.
speaking into the world.
He
As
didn't
though
even
there were no
understand the
consequences
game for
a
the
lack of
first time. Like,
cohesion in one's
how can
assessment
you
of others.
play
But
the
of
game
course,
like this and
absolutely
write
anyone
such a
can leave
stupid
a
review?
So here's what we get. We get these demands that
Yeah.
seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, "Oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place," while the narrator sits there forever and ever.
They have no
We
idea.
want all of this in the news.
Okay, this was this was nice glitch. I think my hard drive is starting to be a little bit older. Maybe because of all the videos I'm just saving on it. Sorry about that. Skipping a lot. But like the Cookie Nine, he deserved this round.
Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires. Every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for
We
no
shouldn't have,
reason
right?
other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak
Yeah, I
to
think-
who we are as people.
I think we
because
just go forward. Okay, and he's before he said it's been a year, and then he started trying to think about how it was a year. The year was roughly after roughly a week that we skipped in, and then we skipped 2 more times. When he rambling about Cookie Nine and the game wasn't supposed to be funny, but if we skip from a week to a year, how many weeks are there in a year? We have like 12 months. Every month it's roughly 4 weeks or 5. So we have like 12 nines 4. 40, so roughly 50 weeks in a year, right? So the next clip was like 50 years. Now we are in a quarter of millennia already. Forward. Plus the 50 years before. So like we are about 300 years into the future. And it was when he was rambling. So if time roughly jumps forward for like 50 times, then we are somewhere thousand and a half of another 1,000 into the future. That's where we are right now. What an incredible journey. Let's skip one more. I don't think we are meeting Narrator.
End is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Okay, he lost
is never
that.
the end, is never the
But
end.
at least he's still alive.
End is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
We are somewhere on like 50,000 years after Christ right now.
End is never the
So the water is leaking in. Okay, button came back again. Oh. I was wondering if this like sounds of monsters or something. But you know what? I think I recognize what it is. It's the sound of wind. And it sounds so horrifying, but this is... Here? Sound of wind outside. These sort of these sort of sounds were what made our ancestors create various monsters. Like they heard the wind howling like this, and we had a banshee. They heard a deer, like howling through. Have you ever heard a deer howling in the night in the forest? Yeah, that's like where the trolls originate, I believe. It's horrifying. When cats mate, it sounds like babies crying. Nature is horrifying even without monsters. I think we have one last skip in front of us. I don't know how many years it could be. I'll see. Never mind, the flies are still alive. The button will come back up. Well, if nothing, we do have at least light. I thought I saw something in here. The building is collapsing though. The nature is overtaking the place. And we've lost the narrator completely. So it's just me and Stanley now. What the hell? It's just the wind, guys. It's just the wind. Yeah, I'm sure it's just it is just the wind, alright? It's no monsters. But we did have a lot of... We had a lot of vegetations and that is gone as well. Yeah, this is just the wind. Shut up, Illustris. We don't see anything, do we? This game can be incredibly creepy. Like, if this guy decided to make a horror game, it would be horrifying. That's also just a wind. Yeah, totally a wind. %100% a wind. So maybe what happened is that we have been frozen in this basement for so long that not only humanity went extinct, but that dinosaurs are back now. Or maybe this... Maybe these are like the sounds of the ghosts? The wailing ghosts of a dead world, angry that there is still one living person on the planet that they cannot get they're grabbing hands onto because he is literally frozen in time. The Stanley is making all the ghosts unrest, unwell, angry, in incredible agony, yet he is going to freeze the time again. And he's going to be frozen so long that even the dead will vanish before he comes back. I find that kind of poetic. I just created also like absolutely horrifying fan fiction of Stanley Parable. Let's get out of here, yeah? Okay, the button is no longer working, it would seem. Literally collapsed into the ground, but there is an opening now that we can use. And ironically enough, it's not this way. It's the other way around. And there is nothing left. Just a desert. But we are moving on our own. We don't have any narration. We are off to new adventures. This is the whole symbolicism of this. You know what is like a horrifying thing to consider though? I think we will go to this wasteland a couple of more times in the future. It would imply that while the office always resets, the world around it isn't resetting. So because we skipped so much time, the world around is always like this, and only like the time capsule is working on the office itself. So everything around the office is actually looking like this nowadays. Which would make sense, because if we do have a button that actually freezes the time, and we have the mechanic that can help us begin the game again, which is also some sort of time travel, that would mean that maybe Stanley is some sort of catalyst of the time traveling and time loops. But all of that is working only on Stanley and the narrator. And if we take by heart one of the theories that narrators told us, that the narrator is just the figment of Stanley's imagination, that he imagined him into being as somebody who is telling him what to do, then the cycle closes itself. And we are left just with Stanley. Well, that was something. We're gonna take a short break and see where this got us, okay? So I see you in roughly 3 minutes from now on. And we are back with some more Stanley. So that was quite heavy part of the game. Honestly,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
so far it looked like just another ending. Until you figure out that something is wrong here. New content. Can we cannot unplug this, by the way. I think this is still hilarious. So let's go there.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
We just keeps going, right? Let's go again. So everything is reset. Narrator didn't lose his mind over like millions of years that we were pressing the skip button. It had to be millions of years because it was just rising exponentially. So the same elevator, okay. Hopefully
You see,
this time.
Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
This is, by the way, the moment where like you literally realize that you are not playing Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, that you are playing Stanley Parable 2. This is just confirming it. We are in the second game. And while this is like fun and all, they even degrade this experience later, but let's not talk about it right now. Let's talk about it later when we get there.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions.
Testing two
This
printers
is
at the
what
same
fans
time.
have truly been asking for.
Welcome, Investor Showcase for the Stanley Parable 2.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Long-term franchising, really? We now have like modern offices. This is remodeled exactly one by the office where they were making Stanley Parable 2. They had these notebooks. They even had this drawing, whatever drawing this is. I can see it clearly. I'm sure it's beautiful though. Even this very pillar, it's one to one from the original office. They even had this board, everything. And then like the invention of the Stanley Parable 2, it was, and they hid it. Okay, the fern. Do you remember the fern? The narrator told us to look at this fern because it's going to be very, very important for the game in the future. And Stanley Parable, oh my god. Maybe next Stanley Parable will be actually a cooperation game. You will play as two Stanleys. You will have option to do like twice as many choices.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Meeting plan. Alright, so at 9 a.m. they have Scrum meeting. At 10 they have design pitch. At 11:30 there is a break. At 11:35 is a pitch design, and at 12:12 is a number 2 chat. 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 arms, 2 legs, and 3 question marks. This is the new Stanley design. I kinda preferred the old one, but you know, I am not one to talk into the creative freedom of the developers. Who took the red marker? And then the person with the red marker writes me. It's a great joke. Remember that other choice game that I played? I don't even know. I think it was called Moral Dilemma. There was this like person, like I think she was named like Clara or something, and she was leaving stickers everywhere. And then there was like on the board, eat. What the hell? Feast on hope. Project. Reject the poison of Uncle Hangover. What are we? I didn't know this is in the game. What are we doing here? So anyway, there was this. Remember to eat. Yum 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 yum. Okay, perfect. And there was a board like this, and there was like, Clara, please return the sticky notes or something like this. And then there was like sticky note, no. And then another sticky note with like the painting that she does and signed Clara or whatever. I think it was Clara. Maybe it was like Karen. I don't know. I didn't know you could eat from this. It's always something new. And I thought I know this game. Alright. So much for this modern office space. I like this concrete, brutalistic, like... It looks like someone's basement. Okay, this is blocked off. This way to the show floor, okay. New content, boss. We have new content. Can I take a ride in the new content? No. Very disappointed. But hey, we have this labyrinth of ropes. Taking us to the Stanley Parable 2. Wow.
Here we are.
Taste the sequel.
Try some of the new features.
Merch. The end is never the end again. Two parts of the brain. Oh my god, I love this merch. Hold on. Let me get my phone. I need to see. I need to see what is there. Hold up. So. It just goes to StanleyParable2.com. Okay. Let me go there. StanleyParable2.com. A sequel, huh? Expo Hall number 2. It doesn't do anything. Okay, I'm not going to fiddle with it too much. Frankly, I don't really want to go play the game of like find the link and go anywhere, whatever. Let's go take the bucket. The bucket is going to be an integral part of the game from now on.
Was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Okay.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, It's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can
Okay.
you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be?
Yes.
The bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
So, no. So anyway, the thing about the bucket is that, I actually have to take the bucket. What if I don't take the bucket though? It's going to be there regardless, so whatever. The thing about the bucket is that you will find it in the office later. And whenever you take the bucket, you can do every single choice you've done in the original game with different outcome. And not like they would be like swapped. No, it's completely different outcome. So if I said there is 16 endings, there are 16 more endings with the bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the
what
face
the hell
of
was that
crushing
laugh?
despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just
a bucket.
holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Yes, if you have this
The
bucket,
benefits of
you
the
are
bucket
more
seem to go
attractive
on and on,
person.
don't they?
I can straight
All this
imagine
and
that.
more await you in the Stanley Parable too.
So we do have the bucket. Okay,
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
no.
That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Oh my god. No screenshots, please.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Happy 12th birthday, Stepneys, and get well someday. So the way this works is he's going to do the opposite what you tell him. I think get well someday is better than happy 12th birthday, Stepneys. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to do anything. And he won't allow me outside. Okay, so I have to choose. Give me this one then.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Yes, thank you. You know, that little piece of sympathy or empathy that I had for him as he was standing there watching me for years and years to no end, slowly losing his mind, it's gone. Completely, utterly gone. Like, get fucked, dude. The holy moly, how deep can we dig? Oh no. Time depth, future, infinity, space-time. Opening, rim, surrounding area, infinite. Oh my god. It just keeps going. The infinite whole chart, depth, space, science, more falling. Alright.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Oh Okay, we are falling into the hole.
Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Press G to return to the surface. How about that? No, like nobody.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Should I?
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
And back into the hole we go.
Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are
the
so
button isn't
many
working,
other
though.
fascinating exhibits that I prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much
one of
like
the
to
best
show
new
you
content
some
ever.
more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about...
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom.
So you lied.
You see, no, I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem.
I am the problem because you lied.
Look,
That's the guy. That's gonna be like the gaslighting 101.
Some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move. Oh, for heaven! You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly,
Just the two
I
of
didn't
us.
make
We
an
can make it
infinite
if we
hole.
try.
I didn't think it
Just
was
the
that
two
not
of
infinite.
us.
Well, I suppose
Building
once again, there's nothing
castles
to do
in
here.
the
If you decide
sky,
you've had
just
enough
the
of the
two of
hole,
us.
you can hit
You
the teleport button
and
come
I.
join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much... Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect
I think I
that I'm
missed the
starting to
best
hit
parts.
the point where it's no
Can
longer
like
feasible to
customize
call
the
whole
Stanley and the
infinitely
vibes and
deep,
everything.
even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing.
It's so infuriating. Like, why would you put such a great piece of content there and the player is just listens to the narrator? You just take it all away and you will never be able to repeat that.
What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length.
Every
Here,
pause button
let's try
is a Roman
something.
numeral number
Let's
2.
pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Just let it sink. Every pause button is Roman numeral number 2. Let this bother you every time you see any sort of pause button from now on. And if it doesn't bother you, I will be steadily reminding you of the fact every time I see any pause button everywhere from now on. Forever. What? Hey, what's that smiley face? Flip this? What? That's not ours, is it? No, that's not ours. You didn't make it, or did you? I don't think you did. Where did you stole it from? No. Okay. Good. Good. It's fine then. It's fitting? Yeah, kinda. Kinda it is. So, we're gonna teleport back up, and we're gonna go back into the hole. Because that's what
there
we
it
do.
is.
Oh,
The
okay.
shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this
Yeah,
point.
it's very finite,
It's
actually.
more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
Boop.
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just
Every
can't see
man
this scratching
ever
the itch.
is obsessed
Oh,
with
Who
holes.
am I to
It's
judge?
just how we are.
You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Okay. I am hitting it.
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Your new content sucks. And I have like 34 jumps left, but I cannot use them outside of the jump circle. So
Still
yeah.
nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could
How
ever
is
have
this
asked for.
fixing it?
It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else.
But you are nothing
Take
without
care,
me.
Stanley. I hope you and the whole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
This guy's always gonna get lonely. Like he said it himself when we were stuck in a prolonging time of the skip button, that without me, he isn't even sure he exists. Here we go. Oh my god. It's growing. That's what she said. It's growing even more. And it's going deeper. I need to stop. I need to stop being 12 years old. Oh my god, what a sick beat. I think all of this is on the soundtrack, by the way. I have a soundtrack. I need to listen to this. This is just such a magnificent tracks in here. This is the best part of the game. Loki. Change your perspective. You hear the sound. Oh yeah. It just goes so well with the beat. Change your perception. I don't like this perception at all. I don't like this perception even more than the... Okay. Okay, that's so sick. Change your reality. Oh my god, we are in Control. We're gonna play Control, by the way, in Spooktober. Oh my god. Using up the space of mine. My head strong. Change yourself. Oh my god. The puppies are running. Best perception ever. Oh no, we are on our head now. Okay, it's better, kind of. Oh, the chat, Stanley. Here we go. Oh my god, I think I know what that is.
Stanley?
No!
Stanley.
Fuck off! Stanley
Stanley.
crashed. No, it didn't crash. Where did it? It did crash. Oh yeah, Ray. We were having so much... Oh god. Oh no. It couldn't get any better. But the game crashed. I think it's my... I don't know what it was. Maybe I've been like spamming those buttons too much. But this is comedy go. Let's go back in, shall we? All right. All right. At least we get to adjust sliders again. Just anti-culture is barely visible. Okay. Please adjust the slider until dog and the cat are friends. Aww. Aww. Okay, now they are lovers. Just like this. They are friends. Okay? Now they are friends. Okay. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. I don't care. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Whee! We can go wild with this one, boys. Which of the 2 made-up words below is the most appealing to you? Okuboinkel or Skrumtush? Both of them are great. I'm gonna stay in the middle there. Please don't adjust the slider. No, you can't make me not adjust the slider if I don't want to. Do you know what time it is right now? No, no idea. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? No. What is time anyway? No. Yes or no? What is time anyway? Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Yes. Help. Yes. Will you come back to visit me? Probably. We still have a couple of streams to do. Let's begin the game then. Well, no wonder that passage is no longer there because it's just
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
fucks
mean?
up everything.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
We need to
Perhaps
go
he had
again.
simply missed a memo.
I guess this time we are
Oh,
just
good.
skipping
You noticed my
the...
sign.
Okay, we need
Yes,
to go
I
through
have
all this
something
again.
very exciting to show you.
I guess we are skipping the Infinite Hole in case it I wanted to find some good track again, but the puppies were like the running puppies were absolutely amazing. But still, we're gonna skip that. We can go for other
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting
new
on
content.
the Stanley Parable
Okay.
and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was
Yes.
a landmark, and any new content for it should live up
Take
to that
me
legacy.
to the hole.
So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense.
Yes.
I say we take it one step
What the
even
hell?
further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so once again we are here.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of
course.
all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
No screenshots. So already broken the rules. Maybe the game will crash again. What do we have here?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself,
A road to
what
perfect
do players
button.
really
Too small,
want?
too big.
And of course,
just
the
right.
first and most
Okay.
obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim.
Jim,
But
okay.
of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along.
I'm simulating.
I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
Nope.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
Jim.
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked
I
very
will.
hard
Don't
on?
worry. I can't wait.
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says. But no.
Jim.
Instead,
Jim.
oh,
Jim.
I can't
Jim.
even think
Jim.
about it. I'm
Jim.
taking the Jim
Jim.
button away.
Jim.
No,
Jim.
Jim. God damn it! He ruins everything every time. I was having so much fun. Finally, something to do in this stupid ass game. Can't even jump. What the hell is this game even? When I try to have fun in the hold, the game crashes. The narrator is unfunny and constantly rambles. When I can click on the freaking button that says Jim, I can't
appreciate
even.
what I've created here.
Why is this closed off? Oh, this is where we came from. I don't know. Let's go this way, I guess. Screw you and your gym button. I didn't want the gym button anyway. Free and new easy achievement. I can't believe it's that simple. Okay, that's Infinite Hall. We're not gonna go there. The game will crash again. I mean, it probably won't, but must have been memory overflow, or maybe my disk is really fucked up. I need to start using it less. I'm using it for quite a lot of like storaging my videos. Whenever I finish streaming, I will just copy it there. And it's hard drive, so it's like slow, but it should be fine with like repeated copies. But maybe
you remember
it's old, so maybe something is fucked up.
Game on
I don't
accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the
Test
achievement.
achievement when achieved.
Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Is it?
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Can I like boink it or something? I know that there is a way how to get it. I think I got it in the past. Let me actually just check this. Yeah. I have 8 out of 11 achievements. What? I didn't. This game has 13 achievements. I have only 8 of them. Play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. Perfect. That's a great achievement. How am I going to achieve this? Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. Usually you achieve this by fiddling up with the clock. Set all settings sliders in the menu to all the available numbers. Set all setting sliders in the menu to all available numbers. I'm not gonna even think about this. Test achievement, please ignore. Test achievement description, replace this. And I got it. So it's somehow this, I don't know how to, I don't know if you need like a bucket or if you need to go there again with the bucket or, no clue. It's over here. Now it feels like Half-Life game again. And Half-Life was such a good game. I can't wait till we play Abiotic Factor, which is like Half-Life but survival game.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
This
You
is
know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Yeah, but like you stole it from you like despise it so much and then you stole it anyway. Like, what the hell? Okay, we have collectibles. Find them all. Okay. Don't mind if I do.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game.
Yes.
In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
What do you mean unremarkable life? Shut the hell up. Also, this is so creepy. This is very creepy, but it's also like they are making fun of achievements for achievement's sake. We have 1 out of 6. Perfect. Oh wow. There is nothing there anymore. Interesting. That was creepy as like this game
really
can
is the
be
worst when you
creepy
collect
for
everything in a
various
video
like
game,
reasons
and then they
without
give you a big
any
fancy
freaking reason.
reward for it. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2. All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yes. I'm not taking your stupid bucket and I'm not falling in your stupid hole again. Fuck those things. Excuse my French. I should say like frick those things or shiitake mushroom, those...
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes,
No.
I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my
There wasn't a
soul.
skip button, I
It's
don't
going
like it.
to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's
Maybe.
do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh no.
Well,
The
I mean, there's
figurines!
potential
Let me
here,
there.
right?
Let
It's
me get my
sort of-
collectibles.
Okay, never mind. Hold on.
Where's
Let me
the
do
gym
a different
button?
arrangement.
Is there a gym button in the
Yes,
office, by the
yes,
way?
this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Alright.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With
Of course,
respect.
yes.
With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work?
No.
I suppose it could, but it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2."
Yeah, but you made
me see
a
if I can
title
put
screen that
something
looks
up.
more like Control, though, to be
All
perfectly
right,
honest.
perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay, show me. See? This is freaking Control. Like all I need is just the director and a gun, and you're in control. Straight up. But let's begin the game. Screw this. Let's see what changed and all.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
The cutscene do
Stanley
not change.
worked for a company in a big building
balloons.
where he was
balloons.
employee
balloons.
number 427. Employee number 427's job was
Tasteful
simple.
addition.
He
Balloons.
sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Okay. So far, Stanley is
And
still
then
happy.
one day, something very peculiar happened.
Stanley
Something that would forever change
Stanley Parable 2, the cutscene is
Something
all
he would
new.
never quite
New
forget.
content.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to
Get
give him
well someday, my
instructions,
favorite
call a
balloon.
meeting, or even say
did it.
hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
Okay.
But as he came to his wits and
ready.
regained his senses, he
I'm
got up
ready.
from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I will step out of my office so hard.
All of his co-workers were gone.
But we
What
have
could it mean?
balloons. We
Stanley
get well
decided
someday.
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he
Tastefully-
had simply missed a memo.
Tastefully added. Look at what we have a bucket here, by the way. And we taking it.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
So what actually happens here is whenever you pick the bucket, you can do the exactly same endings. apart from this one. Apart from the one where you go in here and lock yourself in because you cannot have bucket with there. But everything else you can do with the
Stanley
bucket.
clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
We'll see. We will start by going this way. I hope so. Get out of the way, you stupid balloons.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history.
Okay.
Of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent
Wait,
humans.
what?
And the bucket's own complicity therein. Of sadness and regret. And the many years it spent
Excuse me?
dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger. Of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me
Gambhorata?
in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then
What the
and could not
fuck?
conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed,
what's with the
bucket revealed
music?
its true
Jesus
form,
Christ.
transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
What the hell? Just
My
happened.
God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages
What?
and knew the incantations to summon their true
I am
power.
slightly
Otherwise,
confused.
We would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
So the bucket has the dark magic. What the fuck?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Okay.
Perhaps Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Gambhorata. Alright. Let's do this. How do you... Okay. We're gonna do the second glitch ending, which is jumping off the railing. And then I think we will leave the bucket part of
Stanley
things
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered
on the next
door
Monday.
on his left.
What do you say? Slowly, we will just progress through here.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Should I? I mean...
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the
Fuck
bucket
that.
walked upstairs to the boss's office.
We're going to the boss's office. We're going to the boss's restroom first.
You found one of them.
one of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the
I don't
intrinsic
trust
pleasure
you.
of a job well done. You
At
can't buy that
all.
sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I'm savoring it. Okay, that's fine. All right. Well, I didn't know I'm gonna find this in there. I just wanted to go there because that was it. But all right. We are gonna try the elevator too. Like all of the silly choices ended up with like the... I thought that was interactive. This probably isn't. Can we go, please? Up? Okay, I don't think we can go up. I think just... I don't want to get stuck by copyright again for this stupid elevator song. Like, come on.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again
It's no longer manager. It's no longer boss. It's like manager. I don't get it.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
2845. God damn it! Almost got it. 2845. I just can't remember this shit like ever. This shiitake mushrooms. I mean.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Another miniature Stanley figurine.
We have
This,
3 out of 6.
you know,
Nice.
there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
Mini stand is
Stanley
good.
figs.
Stanley figs?
Or
Nah, not
What
really.
about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that.
Stanlerine.
Another
Okay.
Stanlerine under your belt.
Mini stand is better, but sure. Let's go down. We are going to jump off the railing because I follow my dreams and railings don't mean anything.
The elevator
Ever.
raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
We have
Stanley
the
and the bucket
bucket.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Mind control facility. Yeah.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
There we go.
Stanley and the bucket. But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
Good.
Now, what to do next? Stanley
No
wondered.
song this time?
Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so
Oh,
bad
nice.
down here. A bit cold, perhaps.
Where did we get the couch to?
After some time
We
had
have
gone
TV,
by,
though.
they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of
Nice.
kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis.
Paninis, alright.
But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started
Nice.
to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility.
That's fine.
This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of
Oh,
their
no,
home slowly
no.
decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail.
We do have a couple
All Stanley
problems,
could
it would
think about,
seem.
all
Look
he
at all
could
the
talk
unwashed
about was going back, doing
mucks.
it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was inconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become
This is
an ending
horrifying.
eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
And we are back at the beginning. So as you can see, what actually happens is that now we have the whole set of new endings that are determined by the bucket itself. But that is going to be story for another day. So thank you everybody for watching this third week of our Stanley Parable journey. In fact, it is not even Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it's Stanley Parable 2 now. And I don't even know when I started calling it Stanley Parable 2 instead of Ultra Deluxe. The true name of the game is the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, right? But for me, it is everything. It is Stanley Parable 2, it is Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is the Stanley Parable. Because the whole first game is in this one. Slight minor changes, like instead of Minecraft you get Firewatch. These sort of changes. I don't know why that was a design choice. I think the Minecraft still stands strong, but maybe copyright issues, maybe the developer liked the Firewatch and wanted to promote it a little bit more. I don't know. Regardless, I love this game. This second part, when you start discovering the Stanley Parable 2 and all this silliness with the bucket, which is completely absurd, it is a little bit silly, but it kind of wraps itself down in the or towards the end. So you would have to be dealing with Microsoft. Ah, that's right. Yeah, of course, of course. Of course you would. Alright. That makes sense. Well, screw Microsoft. They got clapped in the EU at least. So anyway, this has been Stanley Parable 2. Tomorrow we are going to be streaming a Souls game. I don't know which one yet, but it's going to be last Souls game before Spooktober, when we will deviate towards spooky games and we will be playing Control and Alan Wake 2 and other spooky games that I have, you know, Alice Madness Returns and Pumpkin Jack and some Vampire Story. I have a lot of those. You know, silly spooky, all of that Halloween spooky fun. I'm all up for it. I love that time of the year. With that said, for those who are here only for Stanley Parable, probably people who are as weird as I am, I will see you next Monday with more of the same. But before that, thank you all for watching. Stay awesome. And have a nice Monday. Bye.